So in this video I'm going to show you how to deploy your database in the SQL, the Google Cloud platform. So you should have a voucher code given by me, and if not, you can just sign up with your own credit card details. You get, I think, $300 worth of free credit, and after that, once you use that credit, you have to start paying, but there should be plenty for your little project. So first thing I do is I click on this burger menu, and I'm gonna go down to my SQL. Where is it? Here it is. So my SQL, and I'm gonna create an instance. So at the moment I have one here called John, and if you notice, this IP address is actually the one that we've been using for our login screen. So I'm going to create an instance, and I'm going to choose my MySQL. I'm going to call this test 2020. Root password is going to be root. I'm going to choose Europe West 2 for the zone, and then I create that instance. So this is going to take a while to spin up, so I will cut that part, but be patient and just let that run for a while. Okay, so that's now spun up, and I have a public IP address. If I try to access my instance, it actually won't work straight away, so I fill in my DB host, and if I go over here, it will say operation timed out. So the next thing that you have to do is you need to just allow all connections. So it's to do with the firewall. So if I go over here to my connections, then I add a network, and I want to add all these. This means all addresses, so 0.0.0.0/0. Click on done. Make sure to save this before I go out. So I can now try and connect with my database connection.php. There was one thing that I was missing here, and that was the port. So so I add 3306, save that. Now if I go to this file, I have a connected successfully. Now there's a couple of ways to actually access this instance. So you can access it with your command prompt or your cloud shell, and you should be somewhat familiar with accessing it via the command line and maybe running some SQL commands. So if we want to connect to this particular instance, the credentials are already set, so I just press enter. I then enter in the password, was root, and I'm now in my MySQL. So if I want to show databases, for example, I can see what's in my schema. I can also then create a database, test, show databases. I can then use tests, and I can also then create my table, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to exit this. So alternatively, you can use a software or a GUI in order to interact with your database, and it's called MySQL Workbench. So MySQL Workbench, you just download this download the latest version for macOS or whatever operating system you're on. Most of you are on Windows, and essentially what that looks like is when you've installed it, you will have this welcome screen, and here you can create your connections. Now I have a couple of databases already connected, and so this one that we've just set up, I can create a new connection, and if we go over here, I copy my public IP address, and I enter in as the host name, and this connection, I can give it any name I want, so I'm going to call this test CA, and the port is set. Click on OK. Now I've got test CA over here. You will be asked for the password, but I've just entered it in, so it's not showing it, but my password was root. And here I have my database test. So this is the one that we just created here from the command shell.